police brutality. There's a method in which the police, the local police, are trained nowadays. It refers to civilians. It refers to you as a civilian. It puts you in a different class of human being, as a matter of fact. And this is, anything we've said tonight is not a knock on local police forces. We have nothing but respect for the law. We respect what they do. Our society would be lost without some kind of control by some kind of police force. But the way they're being trained is they're putting you in a different category. Federal training guidelines are training your local police to refer to you as a separate entity from themselves. It puts them on a pedestal. It works deep in their psyche and puts them on a different mental ground than you. And say they get the orders to operate against you someday, they may. Watch out for the federalization of your local police and the violation of the 1878 Posse Comitatus Act, where national troops are used to police people on the local level. We've had examples of that in Hurricane Katrina and other things. We're going to close off that subject and let the venting session begin. As long as we're venting, there's a major issue that we're all going to want to vent on, and that is the economy and exactly what's going on. We have these bailouts, all sorts of companies taking money from the federal government, from the Federal Reserve, which has, as Federal Express, they say, officially making this fascist government. We can go in a million different directions. I'm going to pass this mic. Topic now, the economy. How about you start off on the economy?
The biggest problem you're going to have in this economy is the fact that it's based upon a false currency, based upon the absence of money, it's based upon the absence of a reasonable, rational, and valuable medium of exchange. And what's going to happen at this particular point, what we're going to see starting this year, we've already seen the crumbling, so it's down, and that is that this fiat false money, monopoly script that's been passing for money for all these years is going to come home to roost, and we're going to pay the price of it. You're going to see our currency start to crumble on the international markets. You're going to see the dollar, the so-called dollar, start to lose credence and lose respect around the world, and then you're going to see hyperinflation kick in. And if you look in history, every time that you have seen that situation happen, you've seen a dictatorship emerge out of the back of it. Well, the only difference we have is we've already got a dictatorship. It's just going to become a more powerful dictatorship as a result of this quote crisis that they've created through the manipulation of a false currency. I can go on and on that, but that's just where we started.
We're going to go around the table with final comments on the economy. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, Tom, I think it's important that you brought up that this is an engineered crisis. It's something called problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, they offer their solution because they already know our reaction. Same thing with someone who spoke earlier tonight about 9/11. They create the problem because they know our reaction, which will be fear and asking the government for help. And the solution will be, we can offer you help. We can go into other countries and you just have to give up some of your liberties and we can protect you at home. So I urge watchers, viewers to Google problem, reaction, solution, false flag terrorism, take a look at that. Also, the economy, I should get back to this fiat-based currency system. I'm not a scholar in the Constitution, but in reading it, I find only 3 things that it authorizes federal government to do, which is print and coin money, protect the borders, and maintain an army for defense. Am I wrong in this?
Well, this was to establish diplomatic ties, basically defend the known borders of the country and defend everybody's inalienable rights. Those are the things. The money situation is supposed to be in the hands of Congress. They put it in the Federal Reserve in 1913. That set us down this path. I don't know if Tom Pryor is familiar with this, but at the when I saw Freedom to Fashion about 5 years ago up in New Hampshire, I went up to Bob Schultz and I explained to him about the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, which I have read every word in it twice, about Clause 30. The thing about Clause 30 is very simple. In order to get rid of the Federal Reserve and their crackers money, it's garbage, All we have to do is give them back $30 million of their own money at any time. The problem is Congress has to be the one that gives the $30 million back to the Federal Reserve. And I don't see Congress doing that anytime soon, because Congress is not there for our benefit. Are you familiar with that clause?
They're
Mr. Cryer?
That clause is not like, as you said, to be ever invoked or be brought out and implemented. What basically happens though is that, you're right, you gotta go back and look at the roots of the weed that you're trying to get out of your garden. Look at the act and read the act, but also look at the context in which it was passed. It was passed at the same time that the 16th Amendment was passed, and the first income tax was passed. And if you think that any of these things are unrelated, think again. The income tax is what provides for currency polarity. It forces society to accept the bogus money in the first place. The same way that the tally sticks were used way back to force contractors and employees and servants to accept tally sticks instead of gold and silver. It's the same thing that we have to use it to pay our taxes. Well, if you didn't have that, which you don't have, then you wouldn't have the currency collection for currency to flow, and it would all be over. So the fact that the Federal Reserve is sitting there using the income tax to manipulate the value of money and therefore quote the relative value of property in order to create bogus and non-existent quote gains that the federal government is going to siphon a portion off of is the way that they are draining the middle class dry, and we're going to end up with two classes. We're going to have a powerful class, and we're going to have all the rest of those.
Okay, I'm gonna simplify what Mr. Cryer just said. If you guys got coins of gold and silver in your hands, they can't take your freedom away, all right? You gotta forget paper money is garbage. That's the worst thing, unless it's backed by something. Unless you can go get coins of gold and silver. You know, the money is worth nothing. All the paper in the world don't mean nothing. In the 12th and 13th century, the English went around giving people IOU notes and defaulted on the IOU notes. And our colonial forefathers, they kept evaluating the colonial script on them and screwed them up. That's why they wrote about coins of gold and silver in the Constitution, so that they'd have honest money, honest government.